Okay, I can admit somewhere throughout the night, just now, actually, obviously, I got caught up in a moment where I had to comment on a video. I couldn't find the video, and as me being me, another thought progressed from listening to the video that I thought it was fully to see if that was the video that contained the thought that I needed, and then it now occurring another thought about that video instead of the thought I had for the other video, basically just throwing me off my game, trying to get the comment in that I needed to get it in, but I'm actually gonna now commit more to new videos because just relaying my thoughts in peace. When you need something, the need is present, the present must need. Like, for example, if the need to live with everyone is a must, then let live with thee. They have to live. Because we have to live with everyone. And that will be understood when everyone gets everything in fairness. Once that is taken care of, then we can progress a bit. We all know this. We're too scared to pay attention. So we follow by society. Or we are actually just so manipulated by society to think we actually need all these different things. This is what life was meant to be. An endless human chase to figure out everything. It cannot happen. We are smart. We will always get smarter, but the earth is saying we've gone too far. We need to come back now. I think it's when we insulted God. If you have this belief, it could help you. That was part of the belief I wanted to add on to the other thought, but now I just forgot what I was trailing on now, and I don't have anyone to help me, but I shouldn't have just said that, because that disturbs it more, but now I'm going to catch it, because I have all the faith in the world that what I was really talking about right now, positive. Okay, a new video. You can only be as smart as one can be if you allow yourself to do that. If you allow yourself to always have the peace of mind that you can think anything you want, you give yourself the ability to live as you want. Knowing what you want to know, what you need to know, is all about. We need to know. Man was never needed to know so many things. And if you have reasons to believe your therapies will work, they will work if the mindset is that it will work. But if you think that it won't, then if you accidentally take it, it might not work. It's almost like a faith. If you believe it, it will work for you. But if you try it and it doesn't work the first time, or you think you did it wrong, or You don't know, you don't think you need to know everything about it because it's your belief. It can be whatever you want. That's why you are given a mind, so you can think whatever you want. If you allow yourself to have that, it takes care of all the stress that comes from a kid thinking he was made and he was waiting for his person to grow up with and go against in the fight of life and have a fair fight, a competition. That he would get to prove himself against. But instead, it was said that in equivalence to him, 2 mans need be before him 12 and 14 years ahead from one parent who has changed, being the same man as the 2 before him. Yet, he needed a different kind of brain, the perfect one to be given to anyone to feel the present feeling of feeling everything you need, because your beliefs are being met always, because you know what it is. It's your belief. It can be anything you want. Once you give yourself that, you will harm no man, because you have already won. You are free to think and exist in any way you want. And you get to bounce it off a background music known as society, or what is here today that you must be with. You get to bounce your thoughts and beliefs off the ones that are told and enforced to be lived. And you think, I can see why they could think that, but there is my belief as well, to think not. And the only reason people would go against those laws is because they needed to do it in beliefs to them following the present moment of never needing to think of anything that needs to be remembered if they don't want to, because then it doesn't exist. Then again, we all know we can't know anything because we don't know everything. If we don't know everything, there is still the moment it can be contradicted. So then, no one's thoughts or thinkings are right, but they can't be wrong. I'm just saying, there's a lot to go on, and there's a lot of parts of the song that make me want to stop and pause right there, but I don't. Because you know what? This Red Bull can take me along. Dare I disgrace myself? But then again, how could I? If I didn't see it as a disgrace, then it wouldn't be. It's just a matter of fact that if I did what I wanted to do at this present moment, it could be held against me. So I have to hide it with the smoke instead of a hit. But what hit? Why is it referred to as a hit? Because it hits you at that moment. You feel endorphins. You feel good. You feel happy. Everyone wants to feel happy. And there is something here to help you feel that way. And the better you get to know it, the more it'll make you happy. You might need slightly more. And that sometimes you can slow down to increase the benefit coming back because your body hasn't been exposed to it as often. And now can feel a more different height or high from less amount, but still not be the same as the last one, and thus needing the reason to do more. Not because we're addicted, but the feelings we get, we need to feel happy. So we get it through these things. And it's therapy. That's alone enough to give a man anything he wants, as long as he does harm no one. Drug not wrong. It's just the world is wrong. The world can only be wrong because man made it wrong. Man thought they were right, but they weren't. They thought they were so smart. They thought they were so good. They built not knowing. There's even the fact that they might have known it would hurt the planet, but they did it anyway because they thought it wouldn't happen soon enough to hurt them, so they did it to benefit themselves. And we continued it because we made it better and better and better, but now we're at the point it's at the best it can be, and we've insulted God with virtual reality, but this has got to go. You lost. You told. Why? Why is it being sold? That is so rude to my beliefs. I am disgusted. I am sick. I didn't think that would hit me like that. That is so wrong. That's my belief. But I don't think a game should be made to disrespect my life. I am living just the way I want to be. I don't need to buy a game to live life. I never played Sims. I didn't know we had games like this. I didn't think much of Sims. But now, it's like it's glued to your face and you can't even see the real world. It actually disappears. You don't want anything to do with the real world except that you'll breathe the real air and you'll feel the glove. But how cheap is that? Just for it to be different. They can literally sell a kid the belief He needs a game to live. That is sick. I have to quit because I have beliefs that, you know what, they're gonna exist. I'm gonna have faith in this video that I can let my beliefs exist throughout this video. I have to charge my computer as I always do. This thing knocks out 3-4 times before I'm through. I swear to God, some nights I go to sleep, I wake up in the morning and my phone's still charging, but it's alarming me to wake up. And it's like, yeah, I'm not really ready to wake up yet, but you have to. And you still gotta charge me, so I gotta sleep. But you have to work just to keep me alive, while I do everything for you that's automatically programmed for me already by one guy, adjusting the program and letting me know what it is. And I'll never forget it. And it doesn't cost me anything to do it. And it doesn't annoy me. But you still have to pay for me by doing something that annoys you and takes away your health. And do you see where I'm going? The phone is here. The computer is here. It does not need to be paid for. Someone knew it was supposed to be here. They needed it. They figured, why not? If I can make 1 million of them and give them to people, I'll do just that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Can I do something for you? I don't know much, but because I've always tried something new, I could try anything that you need. For say, you could need a song or a freestyle that you've never heard, that I think off the top of my head to what has just happened, like this. You brought me a computer, but right now I really need this SIG to be something else. Oh, not really. But you've brought me this computer. It didn't take much. I know it's worth a lot. It can do a lot. But it's still fair that, I mean, we already have it here. You brought it. It wasn't that hard to bring it. You know what? I'll do anything you want. I will. But it would make more sense if I could give you lots of different stuff. And somewhere down the line, if I figured something out, then I could pay you off with that, slowly, until we evened out. And just constantly got to help each other out with everything we needed. Because we always came back with different stuff to give around. Because it was already here. It didn't need to be paid for a second time. It was made. That's enough to be paid for. After that, it's free. It doesn't cost anything at that point. Because when we add money, that's adding cost to the already cost. Having to pay for something with money costs money. But if we just let it be free, it wouldn't cost as much. Because once money's involved, once you involve something else, it adds to it. And if it's unnecessary, you shouldn't do it. You just shouldn't do it. You won't do it, and we don't have to do it. Some people will follow that. But I'm getting really tired and it's getting hard for me. I gotta light this smoke and just take a little breather, if you know what I mean. Some people breathe through having a smoke. They're addicted to it. They got curious. They had to see it. Is it harming anyone else? No. Does it make them happy? Yeah, it's something to do for 3 minutes. It helps me breathe and I can relax and it feels good. It tastes good. And after a meal, it's like, oh, it feels good. It's good. And it stimulates the therapy because it counter-reacts with different chemicals. And it brings you down off the other therapies. It's like a balancer. Seriously though, I don't like the camera on when I'm not talking because I might think of something that I don't want to be heard. I still have that kind of recognition to keep it within context of what I want or may not want to be heard, to an extent enough to trust myself to go on these rampant rants that I trust should be heard. For the sake that I think different, and I have reason to because it's gotten me this far, and you don't do the things that I'm doing. I'm not trying to brag, but I am. Okay, I am trying to brag. I think my life is bomb. In the slang term that I like it. You know what I mean. Drufo double deuce. It was meant to be seen. I can't even breathe because I'm talking while needing a smoke. And I don't want to close the video, but I don't even want to stop talking because I don't want the video to have me not talking. But I'm just going to accept that and I'm going to stop right now. But get that camera off of me and almost let me forget that you're there, but God forbid I think or say or do something that I didn't want to be seen because I am sacrificing my privacy just to get my point across, which shouldn't be needed in therapy. But I feel justified. This is what has led me to this decision. What would you do the night before a big meeting? Would you try to go to sleep, which you couldn't do because you're stressed out, and get a poor sleep and try to remember everything you needed to remember in the morning? Or would you take a little medication, focus on what you need to be focusing on for the next morning throughout the whole night so it's so imprinted in your mind that when you go to that meeting, you've had it constantly in your mind and you haven't forgot it because you haven't stopped. Therefore, when you go into it, it will have always been constantly being thought and recycled and just kept going, that you have a better chance of getting the points across than if you tried to go to sleep, stressed out, woken up off a bad sleep, tried to remember everything, and it doesn't work. When you got something to do, you got to do it. Like what I'm doing right now. I can't even give myself a second to stop talking, to fucking take something that I don't really need, but would help nonetheless. Now, I do say this thing is of an addictive nature. It could be Red Bull. It could be something else. But Holy jeez, the stress involved. If it is seen and needing to start over, it wouldn't happen. It's going to go up. And whether my points get understood, because I know they are justified. It's taken me this far. It has worked, despite other people's depictions of such a belief being so wrong. But if it is here, then why mustn't it may or may not be? If we needed to sleep, our bodies would literally shut down as they do when they need to sleep. But if you need to achieve something and you need extra focus, it can be seen as fasting in a spiritual sense, and thus giving you the train of thought for a longer period of time, more or less till the reason you needed to use it, and then it being fully understood because it was never lost. But if you have to sleep in between, nah, I hate that. And you force me into these situations so many times. I can't do it through school, so I barely pass to get by. Because this is not the way I study. I don't study. I don't put myself in a stressful situation all the time and force unneeded knowledge on students to be so much better than one another. At what? What do we really need in the end? We can't even focus on global warming. It's what we need to survive. We need the earth. And we can't even learn that in the school. I have had enough. There's so many times I want to let this video go, but it's going on. And there is such a burning in my throat that is cured from this Red Bull. If I hold it there like mouthwash. It's from a therapy that one may use to heighten a sense, not given to all the time off the first intake, but the feeling is there, and they can realize if they can hone this skill from this high, they can get from what they needed from that supply of the drug, of the medication. It's almost like if there was a medication to cure the world, it would be to make everyone realize they need to cure the world because they're the only ones who can. And if they don't do it, then no one else gets to exist. So let's do it. We're gonna end right here. I can't go on anymore. That's it. Goodbye. For now, until I think of another line. After I take a break from this video that will come back. Okay.